So now that we have the Vue Router installed, let's get started using it. And it's pretty straightforward. Actually, it's dead simple. I really like this routing package. So what I'm going to do is back here in my application, in my IDE, inside the source folder, I'm going to create a new folder called Router, not surprisingly. And inside of that, I'll create one file, and this is in the router directory. I'll just call it index.js. Okay? And what I'm going to do is import two packages from Vue Router. So I'll import, and I'll use the curly braces, create router, which, not surprisingly, creates a router, and create web history, which actually allows us to use the back button in our application and have it do exactly what's expected. Now, there are other methods of doing this, but what I'm going to use right now is create web history. And those are imported from Vue-Router. Okay? Now, I also need to import at least one component. I have to be able to route somewhere. So I'm going to import the body component for now. Import body from, and since we're one level down, we're going to go dot, which is the current directory, up one directory, into the components directory, and I'll import body.vue. Okay, now we'll be importing more components in a bit, but for right now, this will get us started. Now, let's declare our roots. And we do that by declaring a constant, and I'm going to call it roots, which seems appropriate, and it's an array. So equals, square brackets, and in here we put all of our roots. I don't want to make them really readable by doing it like this. So the path for the first root is going to be /, and that's what you'd see in the browser location bar. The name for this root, I'll call it home, because it's the home page. And the component it links to, better spell it right, is going to be body, the one we just imported up on line 2. Okay? And we would add more roots here, but we have no other components to root to, so we can't add any yet. Then, after that constant declaration, let's declare another constant, and we'll call this one router. And that's equal to, using the create router package that I just imported, and its history is going to be create web history with opening and closing parentheses, and we're going to hand it roots. Okay? And now we'll just export default router, like that. So there is where we're going to define our roots right here, and here's where we actually create the router and then export it. So now that we have it exported, of course, we need to use it over in app.js, and we'll get started on that in the next lecture.